It is Thursday morning. I am off work. Somebody else is taking care of the kids for now, and I am in the middle of editing and submitting a short story to a contest. However, I'm still waiting for my partner to read it as my trusted reader. So I have decided to delve into a bit of writing again. And I decided to go back to some of my OG stories, kind of the stories that really started all this. So they're the stories that I wrote whilst traveling, like 15 years ago, maybe not 20, I can't remember. Anyway, stories that I started a long time ago that I wrote by hand. And then typed up, stories that are not finished. These are the stories that really started this whole writing journey this year, that started Year of the Book. They're the stories that I wanted to finish. And the funny thing is we're nearly halfway through the year and I haven't even been back to them yet. And that was because I had a ton of other ideas for stories that I hadn't started writing, and I wanted to get started writing those and get those kind of out of my head. But now I want to go back into these old stories and see what I can do with them. Okay, so I've just been into one of my first short stories. I started writing the story in 2012 whilst I was traveling around Europe. And I wrote it by hand in a notebook, but I did not finish the story. And then the notebook, over the years, disappeared. I lost it. And I was really mad because I always intended to finish this story and I really liked it. So looked everywhere for it. I never found it. So what I did at some point several years later was I typed it up onto the computer, what I could remember from the original. And that's what I've been looking at this morning. Now, I realised when I went into this that I must have already done some level of redrafting on it. It didn't read like a first draft. There weren't any kind of typos or errors in it, so I must have redrafted it at some point. However, it did not have an ending, and that's probably because I never had an ending in mind when I originally wrote it. So I just wrote it up to a certain point and then it was left unfinished. And then not long ago, maybe about a year ago, I can't remember the context, but I had a sudden kind of image of how I wanted to finish this particular story. I don't know where that ending came from. It just kind of came to me. And I've just been holding that in my head and intending to write it up at some point. So what I've done today is finished the story, essentially. It took about 800 words. This is a pretty short story. It's less than 3,500 words, kind of average short story length, I think. And I'm really happy that I've managed to finish it. It's now a full first draft, let's say. It will go through further editing and so on. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm going to try and do the same with another story written the same year, 2012, that I know also doesn't have an ending. And this other one is even less developed than the first one. I'm not really sure I even got to the kind of midpoint of it. I'll have to open it up and have a look and see how it goes. But this in particular feels really exciting to me because I feel like this is why I started Year of the Book, because I had these stories that were unfinished. And now I've just finished one, I've just given it an ending. So this is kind of what I set out to do in the first place at the start of the year. And that took a turn when I decided to start writing essentially new stories that I just had as ideas in my head instead of finishing the ones I'd already started. So it feels really exciting to finish this story in the way that I want, even though it took more than 10 years for me to think of the ending. Now I've done it and I am pleased about the story. So yeah, it makes me feel happy. Okay, I finished writing for the day. I have been writing nearly all day from around 10 to 4 at quite a leisurely pace with lots of breaks. Did a couple of time sessions and then I just forgot to reset my timer and get going. And I finished two stories, two half-written stories. This feels like a massive achievement for me because these were two of my original stories. You know what? I don't even care if nobody ever reads them, if they never get edited, if they never get published. That kind of doesn't matter for these stories because all I wanted to do was finish them. And I felt like I would never get around to it. And now I have. They have endings and now I can do whatever I want with them. So I feel really good. Also do feel like, wow, I can really see how much it's possible to write when you can do it full time. Just one day that I've done it full time. But you know, usually my writing sessions are in the evening when I've already done a full day of work and been looking after the kids. And today we've had family here who have helped with the kids and I haven't been working, and I've seen how much of a difference that makes, really, in terms of the energy that I have to get going and to keep going. Usually when I'm writing in the evenings, even if I'm feeling really motivated and the writing is going really well, I still rarely manage to do more than an hour and a half because I'm just tired, I'm exhausted. But doing it during the day when I just have more energy, that makes a huge difference. So the bad news is that I can't give up my day job because I need to earn money. But the good news is that I do have some more annual leave that I need to use up from my job. So I will have some more days like this, hopefully. So yeah, it was a really good day. I feel energized and really happy with what I've managed to achieve. So thanks for watching, everybody. Happy writing. Bye.